I settled on some thanks. And so I want to spend the next 10 minutes thanking some people and actually thanking all of you for what has been a pretty amazing 8 years in this role. So they're in no particular order except for the first one. First one is I'm thanking someone who's not here, that's Lee. No way I could have done this job for 8 years without her help, her support, her encouragement, her patience. She has been absolutely incredible. And no way to do this. This job has been wonderful, but it also has its other moments, as I suspect you know. And to have her there by my side has made it all possible. So that's the first thanks. And then the rest are in no particular order, but it makes sense, I think, to start with Robert. So you see the public side of the dean, and he's really good. He's honestly the best dean we've ever had in terms of the public-facing parts of the job. He does that so well. But what you don't see are all the text messages, the meetings, the conversations, the emails. Nothing good happens for the School of Communication Studies or any department in the College of Arts and Letters without his support and without his advocacy. So while we have disagreed on occasion, we have actually agreed far more often than we have disagreed. And throughout it all, he has been incredibly helpful and supportive. So Robert, thank you very much for all your help. When I first started this job, it seems like yesterday. I can't believe it was 8 years ago, but it was really important for me to meet with the people who held administrative positions in the department, all of whom have pretty much been there this whole time for me. So I need to talk about them a little bit. And I want to start with somebody who seems somewhat under the radar to the extent that I'm not sure everybody realizes just how much he does, and that's Tim. So as our basic course director, Tim is responsible for our general education, what I regard as the soul of the School of Communication Studies. It became very quickly apparent in all my early meetings that Tim needed virtually nothing from me. He already had the job completely mastered. But what you don't understand is you're looking at 150 plus sections of the basic course every year. You're looking at student issues, graduate student concerns, parent concerns, faculty issues. All of these things Tim handled and did it in such a way that I'm not sure people realized everything he did. And then on top of that, he represents us in general education conversations around the university. And then of course, he's engaged in research and conversations about the basic course at the national level. You couldn't want anything else in a basic course director. Thank you, Tim. And as I look around, it's really interesting. It strikes me that the majority of you in this room don't know the School of Communication Studies without a graduate program. That was not easy work. It was not easy work to put it together, and it has not been easy work to maintain it. So first Pete and then Corey have done tremendous work. The paperwork alone associated with being a director of graduate studies, from the plan of study forms, to the thesis forms, the internships forms, the graduation applications, everything that goes along with that, hiring the GTAs. It's incredibly complicated. They both did that seamlessly, but they had a tremendous vision for the program that sustained us and propelled the program forward. But here's the most impressive thing that you may not know about both Pete and Corey. We have a pretty large graduate program, and we've been running for about 9 years with about 20, 25 students full-time every year. I could count on one hand the number of students who have left the program, and that's because Pete and Corey have done such a good job of mentoring them, of talking to them, of supporting them, of doing whatever they need to get through. So thank you, Corey and Pete. Great work. 2,000, Tony. Do you know what that number is?
No.
That's the approximate number of graduation applications you've approved.
Oh, Lord.
In the last 8 years. That's just for me. So Tony, the list of everything that Tony does is really long, but what really stands out, a number of things. So the advising, the transfer advising, the internship coordinating, a couple of huge highlights. This event, which she knows has always been my favorite thing all year long and all the energy and effort that goes into it. All of our work with alumni, we don't have an alumni council without Tony. So Tony has been tremendous, but honestly my favorite thing about working with Tony these last 8 years have been those random conversations that we have. So she'll come into my office and ask, what's going on? Do you need anything? Is there anything I can do? Particularly the first few years, Tony was a great person to talk to about our ideas. So my plans, her plans for the department. Tony is great at sort of bringing me back to earth if I have ideas that won't work. Incredibly practical, dedicated, thoughtful, such a tremendous asset to the department. Thank you for everything, all your support these last 8 years. Karen and Andrea, you know, the dean has said in the past to various groups that the School of Communication Studies runs like a well-oiled machine. That's not me, that's Andrea and Karen. They are both so incredibly good at their jobs, and you know that, but what you might not know is within the first few months of working with each of them, they started to read my mind. Like they knew things, they knew and have known how I would handle student situations, fiscal questions, all these things that keep coming up. They figured it all out very quickly. But I think one of the best things I can say about those two is when I step down from the position, one of the things I will miss the most is coming into the office and getting the chance to work with them every day. The atmosphere in our main office with Andrea, Karen, Tim, and Lee is incredible. It is so positive. We just feel like we can do anything when we're in that office. And I think the culture, the climate of a department starts in the main office and kind of spreads outward. And so they've done tremendous work in supporting me and all of us for these years. And so I really appreciate that as well. Thank you. So 2 final stories about my faculty colleagues. And I'll try to hold this together as best I can. So first, during the pandemic, it was a rough couple of years. No one could have predicted what that was going to be like for any of us. I never would have doubted how incredible you were as a group during the pandemic, but what really struck me about all of you was how supportive you were of me, of each other, and most importantly, our students. The way you rose to that challenge, are we out of it? I'm not sure, but definitely those 2 years have been so hard, and the way you rose to that challenge was amazing. It led me to think that as a community, if we could do this, we can do anything. So I don't know what comes next, but I do know whatever it is, we will be okay. And then my final faculty story, we've had a lot of job applicants in over the last 8 years that I've been doing this, and it's not because there's something wrong with our department and people keep leaving, it's just we're a big department and these things happen. The smart ones, as our alumni like to say, the smart ones ask questions. And one of the questions they like to ask me, knowing that I've been doing this job for so long, is why do you stay at JMU? What motivates you to come to work every day? For the first 14 years I was here, the answer was always the same. The students. That hasn't actually changed. As you heard tonight, we have some incredible students. I can't tell you how many times I might have been in a bad mood. I go teach a class, I talk to our students, and everything's great again. I think we've all had that experience. But I have had to change my answer. So after 8 years, actually after the first year, it didn't take that long, my answer became the students and the faculty. Because one of the things I love about JMU that's kind of unique academically is there are a lot of ways to excel. There are a lot of ways to be really good at your job. And over the last 8 years, you have shown me all of them, including some I didn't even know existed. So you are amazing scholars, you are fantastic teachers, and you are engaged in service activities in the discipline, in the community, at the college level, university level, department. I am in awe of what you've done and what I've been privileged to see you do. So as I think ahead just a little bit, I don't know for sure what's next for me long term. In the short term, I'm really looking forward to spending more time teaching our students and working on my scholarship, and having the opportunity to assist in the transition of someone who will be a fantastic academic unit head. So I'm looking forward to that a great deal. I'm also really looking forward to a leave, my first, and thank you for that. So I'm looking forward to having a leave. It's a chance to kind of reflect at this stage of my career what to do next. Lee insists that I'm going to miss parts of academic administration. She thinks I'll get back into it in some way, at some level. I think that's possible. I don't know, but I do know whatever I do next, I will never do more meaningful work. I will never have a job that matters as much to me as this one has meant. So, thank you for the opportunity. It's been an honor.